Hey there. So I just wanted to give a quick little disclaimer, I guess. So what you're about to hear in this episode with Lisa Sundstedt is me complaining about how I totally screwed up and didn't record my Estoyans episode, which you just heard last week. I just want to say that you've already heard my Estoyans episode, but I just wanted to throw it in there because I think I spend a lot of time saying what a doofus I am. Anyway, so that's it. I just wanted to let you guys know. Yay! But you know what? I'm fine.
Krista! Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Really? Because you seem a little...
I said I'm fine.
Okay, well, we all love you, so if you need to talk, we're...
She's fine. She's fine.
I'm fine. Hey, everybody. Holy shit. It's been 3 weeks since my last podcast. So much stuff has been going on. Well, one funny thing I will tell you, a couple weeks ago, I had my Estoyan come and record a podcast with me. I was in the middle of moving and doing a movie, and there was the break-in and my dog and then all this stuff and a breakup, and I was just out of my mind. And Maya came. We had such a great podcast, like ridiculously awesome podcast. And I forgot to put the SIM card in my Zoom. So I got home from doing a night shoot. It was the day before I moved. And I was like, fuck my life. I'm done. I was like, oh my God. So anyway, Maya is going to definitely come and do the show again, but we had such a good podcast. Might have been the best one ever. Anyway, if that says anything about what's been happening with me, you guys know this. You guys have been super patient and wonderful. And by the way, all of your comments and emails and all of the stuff that you guys keep sending in, literally, it's like the wind beneath my wings. I love you guys and thank you so much for being so awesome. I've been going through so much. So I had I had the break-in, I had my dog sick. I broke up with somebody that and then I shot a movie and then I moved and all of these super crazy, stressful things. And now I'm at this place where I'm like the phoenix coming out of the ashes. That's what I feel like right now. Side note, funny note, on the back of my ass, I kind of out of my butt crack and a little bit up my back, there's a phoenix rising out of my butt crack. It's been getting removed. It now looks like maybe I don't know, somebody slapped me in the back because all the black is gone around the outline and it's just kind of red. I really need to get that done. Anybody has free tattoo removal, let me know. Oftentimes people are like, oh God, what happened? Anyway, so moving on. So this week, so my guest this week is literally one of my favorite people on the planet. She's probably one of the most inspiring people in my life. Not only just as a friend, but also in the world of comedy. She was the first person that I ever went to when I was going to do stand-up, and I was doing it for, you guys remember that was mean, Denise Richards. She's awesome. I don't know. Anyway, that was weird. I love Denise. Anyway, she had a reality show and Lisa was brought on to do like a bit with me that I was supposed to do stand up. And Lisa and I became really, really good friends. And in the process, I always threatened that I was going to go do stand up. And she also, by the way, so Lisa has the longest running female comedy show in the world. It's been going on for 20 years or more.
Yeah, maybe even 25, since 1995.
Okay, I'm terrible at math, but that's more than 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And it's amazing. And a lot of my friends are doing her class now. And I have to tell you, any women in Los Angeles that are here that want to learn to turn the bad shit into funny, because we can always do that. I'm telling you right now, it's called Pretty Funny Women. You can look it up online. Lisa is one of my dearest friends, but she's also one of the most brilliant people. And she has transformed lives with what she's done, because she lets people talk about she takes the people do these classes and they talk about really hard things and turn it into
comedy gold. This
something
tragedy
better.
plus time.
Yeah.
Plus comedy.
Yeah. And it's fantastic. And I'll talk about this later, but Lisa, I have a show coming up on May 9th in La Jolla. And it's a pretty funny women's show, and it's a bunch of hot chicks getting up doing comedy. Lisa Sundstedt is hosting it. It's a pretty funny women's show. It's at the Comedy Store in La Jolla. If you guys are around, it's going to be my first time on stage, back on the stand-up stage, in almost 2 months because of all the shit that's happened. And hopefully I'm going to write some new material and get up and do it. But hi, Lisa. Say hi to everybody.
That was like the nicest intro I've ever received. Thank you so much.
Really?
Yes. I love you. You're so sweet.
I love you too. You deserve even a better intro.
Oh, well, go ahead.
And also,
I was thinking about your SIM card that you forgot to put in.
Yeah.
Was Mercury in retrograde?
I always use that as an excuse. Do you ever do it? You know what? Mercury must be in retrograde.
Yeah.
It must be.
For anything. Well, they say technical stuff.
Isn't it always in retrograde? Isn't Mercury
People always say that. I don't even know what it means, but it's just something that stuck out when you said that you forgot that technical. Because I don't even know what a SIM card is.
Oh,
it
really?
Sounds like something important, though.
It is. It records the data that we're speaking right now, and it records it onto this. And when I'm done, I work with a little Zoom 5. That's what I record on. This little guy here, and everything's connected. When it's done, I take out the SIM card and I stick it into the side of my computer, and it uploads, and then I can send it to my producer, Jake Lloyd, and he puts it up on iTunes and
That's
Stitcher
amazing.
and Spotify.
That sounds very complicated, though. That's why I don't have a podcast, because I would never know how to do
it's
any
really
of this stuff.
even you could do it.
Okay.
Seriously. Coming from somebody that doesn't really know much about anything, I couldn't figure out how to plug in my Fire TV, and you literally just plug it in. Like it's like that's all you do. And I was like, I can't do it. I need a handyman. But it's like you plug it into the back of your TV. I'm like, where? Which one? There's so many. There's so many holes.
That's what she said.
I know.
No, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be she.
It could be.
I guess so.
You know, it depends on what you're into.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Yes.
That is true.
So, this is Lisa and I have been trying to get together to do this. And it seemed great because I am doing the show on May 9th in La Jolla at the Comedy Store.
Comedy Store.
And so, not only am I about to do her show, I just saw another show she did last night with two of my friends, that is Sarah Sanderson and Kelly Brown, and they kicked ass. And Ariana. And
Bossary?
Bossary, who has become one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She's so good. Anyway, it was so good to see everybody there. Her shows are always really funny. Everybody, I know I keep just rambling on about Pretty Funny Women because Pretty Funny Women is awesome.
That is so sweet of you. Thank you.
I'm not being sweet.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And you're more than welcome to do that show. Last night was called Funny Girls, a one-man show. It's a totally different brand because I like to put a guy in there. And so I want you to do that show as well.
Yeah, I would love to.
My next one is May 16th, and you're more than welcome to do it if you so are.
You heard it here first, folks. Yeah, I'm going to start saying yes. I canceled over 14 shows over the last month and a half.
Because you were stressed, yeah.
Yeah, and two of them were headliner gigs,
Mm.
and just because I was just like in a hole. That's what he said. Hey. No, but the best part about this, about what we're doing today. So you guys, one of Lisa's favorite books, and we've talked about it before, Louise Hay is like the matriarch of self-help. She has passed away. She just recently passed away.
And she had such a kick-ass life, didn't she?
Man, she is
inspiration.
She's so inspirational. And I remember starting with Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer in my journey, and they were like my go-tos. And even before Marianne Williamson and like whatever, Louise Hay was the one. Yeah. And she wrote this book called You Can Heal Your Life. Mm-hmm. And I remember, you guys, if you have a chance, like, we talk about the book, but we talk but we're going to talk about the book, but we also talk about it in relation to our own unfortunate choices in life. And if you guys get a chance, there's a YouTube movie called You Can Heal Your Life.
My favorite documentary of all time.
It is
one of the best documentaries.
So good.
I've bought copies of it and sent them to friends.
I highly encourage everybody to look at it because you know what? I need to watch it again. It is so inspiring, and I need to watch it myself because I am going up and down in my. I'm doing great,
Self-talk.
and then I'll go and I'll stop myself. But when those thoughts, those resistance thoughts from the past come up, and you start to get into a rabbit hole, it's this book and that video, that documentary is so amazing. It literally goes, oh, you mean I just have to think better thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you deal with the stuff that's going on, but the way that
it's the way we talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
It's the negative self-talk that we do all day long. Like, oh, look at me, I'm gaining weight, or I'm getting old, or look at those wrinkles, or
the comparing.
Yes.
Which she talks about a lot in the book, like about comparing yourself to other people, which Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, any of the social media stuff, whatever, like it's
so easy to do.
Well, it was easy to do before all of that too, but now it is really hard. And not only that, but filters. Everybody looks better than they really do.
Photoshop.
Yeah. I mean,
retouching.
For real. Like, I love it. It's the best. People are like, what's your secret? I'm like, oh, it's the Aiden filter on Instagram. Check it out. No, but it's true. It makes everybody looks better. And it's hard because we see that.
Yeah, it's not reality.
And we post stuff. I mean, nobody's going to post about, some people do. Some people get on social media and post stuff and it's like nothing but rants and stuff. And you just kind of unfriend those people or like take them off your timeline because it's such a drag. But I know I try to keep my feed super positive and the positive things that are going on. When the stuff happened with the break-in, I did post about Jack. And you know what? I got so much support from so many people out there. It made me feel so much better. But it's not like I do it all the time. And it wasn't about a personal thing. Like, I'm not going to talk about a breakup or I'm not going to talk. This was personal, but it was a different kind of personal, But yeah.
I liked what you posted on Facebook about having compassion for the woman who came. I mean, you wrote the most beautiful email and it was like, whoa, this is really powerful.
Well, thank you for saying that. That was a thing for me. I was hearing so many people talk about, here's the deal. When you hear about somebody coming in and hurting your animal, to the extent that she hurt Jack, the first thing that anybody say, I would fucking kill her. I would fucking kill that woman. And it's funny when you look in someone's eyes and you see that they're just sick and they're lost. It kind of goes out the window when you're upset, but all I wanted to find out was what was happening with my dog. But at the end of the day, she's not there. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like, anyway, I do feel like there needs to be something out there for people that do this, because people break into people's houses or they do this stuff and then they go to jail. The system is so messed up. They go to jail, they get out in a week and they go do it again. Then they go back to jail and God.
There's no help. There's no rehabilitation.
No, and it sucks. And I wish there was something to do. But yeah, we do send prayers to every single person out there. You know what I mean?
Well, they say in my 12-step program, if you have a resentment towards someone, you're supposed to pray for them for 7 days straight. Pray for their health, happiness, peace, and prosperity. And then your resentment is lifted as a result of you praying for them. You're supposed to pray for them to have all the things you want for yourself. So if you're like, I want validation, I want recognition, I want true love, I want money, I want success, I want happiness. That's what you pray for them to get.
I love that. And with a lot of the stuff that's happening, that's happening in my life, when I do feel anger, I not always, but I try to remember that every single person out there just wants to be loved. It doesn't matter if it's the biggest asshole in the world or the biggest bitch in the world, whatever it is, there's always like something, there's always there's a need for love. It's just the way that people react as opposed to responding to something sometimes.
And they say hurt people, right?
Yeah, hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what happens.
And then one of my favorite phrases is, I never met a happy asshole. So, you meet someone who's a total dick and you're like, well, that person's not happy. They have to live in their head all day long.
Tell that to my gay friends, because they're like, girl, I don't think so. I see lots of happy assholes.
Okay, you're taking it someplace else.
Oh, you mean, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm kind of going back through some of these book summaries for this, because I've read this, I've seen the video. I know that
my favorite thing that she does is she believes that dis-ease in the body is mental.
Mm-hmm.
Everything physically going on with you is something emotionally that you're not dealing with.
Right, because your feet, it has to go someplace.
Right.
Yeah.
And so she literally gives you diagnosis. Like my brother called me, he's like, yeah, I'm having trouble with my neck. And I'm like, well, it's probably because you don't like to look back there of what's going on. You don't want to turn around and look behind you. And it's just that, and then it gives you an affirmation.
Oh my God, that's
that.
Do you know what's so funny? Yesterday, okay, so I've been dropping things and breaking them lately, like shattered glasses, shattered glass. And I've done it a couple of times in the last week. And I did it yesterday. And I remember I looked down at this thing that I loved so much, and it was shattered on the floor. And I remember thinking, that's my heart.
Yeah.
Is that thing? And I was like,
it's all symbolic, right?
I was like, that's how my heart feels.
But like it says, for example, if you have a UTI, right? It means you're burning up.
That's a urinary tract infection for those of you that don't know.
Yeah, it means like you're burning up. You're with anger, in your body that you need to like deal with. Or if you stub your toe or hurt your toe, it's like you're afraid to move forward in life. It's just so interesting, all of these.
Wow.
Like, I'll give you one right now. Give me something going on with you physically that you might be dealing with. Anything chronic going on?
What about, no, I can't, no, let me think. Insomnia. I have a terrible insomnia.
Okay. Let's look up insomnia.
It might be all the cocaine I'm doing, but no, I'm kidding. Lisa didn't think that's funny because she's
because I know you're not doing cocaine.
She's in a program.
Okay, here's insomnia. Fear, not trusting the process of life, guilt. And here's your affirmation. I lovingly release the day and slip into powerful sleep, knowing tomorrow will take care of itself.
Right. It is just lifting it to a different place. Now, here's the interesting thing. What I love about this, so like I said, she was like she's like the matriarch of self-help.
Like a pioneer of new age.
Absolutely. And I want to go one step further with this. And these are conversations we've had before too. I think I remember having a conversation like this with you. Now, sometimes with affirmations, and I think sometimes when people get put off by affirmations, because you don't really believe it when you're saying it. So there's been people that say, just fake it till you make it, just keep saying it. However, I found a trick, and it's, if you can't get to that place where, what did it say? It said something like, I know, what did it say?
It's I lovingly release let's see here. I lovingly release the day and slip into peaceful sleep, knowing tomorrow will take care of itself.
No, okay. And that is a very powerful statement, but so say I'm having insomnia and there's something going on and I say that statement, but it doesn't really resonate with me because I don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
It may cause me a little more stress and I may be frustrated that I can't feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
But a better thought, just to try to get better, because in our thoughts, the momentum of negative thought can escalate and snowball, but so can positive thought. So, and so does positive thought. It's the way it works, negative and positive. So if I was able to say, you know what, I haven't been sleeping very good, but tonight I'm just going to be gentle with myself about everything. And whatever it is that I was going to say, that isn't as strong as I'm going to.
I slip into peaceful sleep because it's not the truth.
Right. But then, and I keep thinking things like that, and then what thought attaches to that one? You know what? I actually did sleep pretty good last night. I got about 4 hours of sleep and I'm feeling pretty good. And then it goes into, you know what? I bet if I worked out during the day, my body would be more tired and I could do that. And that could be something and all of a sudden you start to get into a more positive place that can get you to that final place, which is the ultimate goal, which is I can slip into peaceful sleep or whatever it is. And that goes with everything. It's but so the thing with affirmations, and I think the thing I loved and I do love about this book is she's so positive because she's definitely positive, but we have to believe what we're saying.
Yeah, you do, because otherwise it feels like a lie, and then that's the core thing that's resonating.
Right.
But I had an affirmation. One of my favorite affirmations is people love to give me money. I just feel like that's a good win-win for everybody, right? Because they're loving what they're doing and I'm loving getting it.
Right.
And then I tried to do one where I make millions of dollars, but that didn't feel real to me because I don't. So my new affirmation is I'm in the process of attracting large sums of money to me. Doesn't
great.
that sound good? I'm in the process of attracting large sums of money.
Yeah.
And then the money comes slowly in, and then it's not like.
And then go an extra step with that and go, God, what does that feel like? What does it feel like? Oh my God, it feels exciting. It feels
exhilarating.
It feels like
you feel free.
Yeah, it feels like freedom. It feels like creativity. It feels like connection. And you start to get that feeling of what that feels like, and you put those together, and then you get into this place. And I promise, some people out there think this is cuckoo. It's so when I'm on my A game with this, my A game, alignment game. I just came up with that. That's what the A game is.
Everything's clicking and you're in the flow.
So, but when I'm on my A game, and things happen, things are happening, but I'm on that positive place. As soon as I can remind myself to go back there into these affirmations, or if I do, imagine what it feels like. What does it feel like? And knowing, whatever it was.
Putting yourself in the feeling state of already having it.
Yeah.
And then you have to behave as if you already have it. So you can't say, oh, I can't afford that. Like when you go shopping, because that's counteracting.
Right.
That's negating your affirmation of I'm in the process of attracting large sums of money to me. Of course I can afford to buy myself a new dress.
Right.
But if you go, oh, that's too expensive, or I can't afford that, or
right,
I'm not going to get that, or I'm not going to go shopping. No.
Yeah.
You almost have to take the leap of faith and make the purchase. Like when I bought my first house, I was really scared because I was an actress and I didn't know if I was going to be able to afford it. But I just took the step of getting a mortgage broker, getting a realtor, started looking for a place, and that put myself in the feeling space of really being a homeowner.
Right.
Because all of a sudden I felt serious about it because I was looking at properties.
Right.
And I got pre-qualified.
Wow.
So then I bought my house and I was like, well, universe, this is such a big gesture to the universe. I'm saying, this is what I deserve. This is where I deserve to live. I deserve to be a homeowner. And then you know what? My income doubled that year.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I never had a problem.
You were staying in that space. I love that.
Same thing happening with when I got my car, my new car. I wanted a nice luxury car. I'd never had one my whole life. And I was like, it's time. I'm in my 40s and I go to these meetings and I want to have a nice car when I come out of valet. It was a little bit of ego.
Right.
But I did it without knowing if I could afford it. And then sure enough, the money came.
Right.
I think you have to take the leap first, don't you?
Yeah, I think you have to take the leap. It's all about whatever you're believing, right? Whatever your belief is, and a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So if you keep going to the place of, you know what, I'm just going to hold out for a little bit longer, or I'm just not going to do it. Well, that's the belief, and that's what you're going to keep getting. But exactly,
True.
You go into that place and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it, and everything's going to work out.
Take the action.
It's true. And you probably, you probably went pretty positive with it, you know, because it probably felt really good when you were doing all of it.
Also feel good about yourself when you're sitting in a nice car.
Yeah.
You know, so it raises your vibration, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is probably sounding corny to people. Like,
no, I say it all the time.
Oh,
I talk about vibration all the time. It's like kind of a thing people make fun of me about.
Okay.
So I'm always talking
it's
about
energy,
raising vibration.
Right?
Yes.
Positive energy.
Yes.
Positive vibes.
Yes. Frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Frequency. That's what that is. Yeah. I was talking to somebody the other day and she was talking about how she feels better. And she was like, she goes, I just masturbate. She goes, that's like my connection to my, you know, that's where I get aligned. And I was like, well, that makes sense. And I was like, you know, raising your frequency, getting up there. And she goes, well, what's your frequency? And I go, I don't know, like maybe like 3 times a week. She goes, no, not masturbating. And I was like, oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I do it when I can. I just got a magic wand. It's been super fun. She's like, no, like, what's your frequency? Anyway.
Now, what happens when you're not that attracted to yourself? I'm just not that into me. I'm like,
oh my God, I just spit my water up. That's hilarious. What happened?
I'm like, I'm okay, but you know, it's like I'm not really turning myself on.
Yeah, but wear something sexier. You know what? Sweats just don't do it for you. You know what I mean?
That's true. My yoga pants. I'm like looking at myself in the mirror going, no, come on.
Yeah. Think of yourself as that young cheerleader.
Put on my cheerleader outfit.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
from the joke last night? Yeah.
Tell that joke. That's really funny.
Tell the joke?
Yes, because now they want to know what it is.
Oh, okay. So this is actually a true story. I was sitting on the couch looking at my old high school yearbook with my boyfriend, and I was showing him that I used to be a cheerleader, and he was getting just a little bit too excited about the picture. He was like, oh, wow, I would have been all over that girl in high school. And I was like, yeah, I mean, she's cute. She's 18, you know. I mean, you're 48, so that's a little weird that you're getting this excited. I mean, you guys, I was jealous of myself. So now when we're having sex at night, I don't even know if he's thinking about me or me.
That's such a good joke.
I hope it's me, but it's probably me.
It's so good. I love that so much. I laughed so hard last night. Lisa told that on stage last night. I was like, whoa, that was really good. Everybody laughed. It was very funny. You did so good last night.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you killed it. So she talks about, let me see. She talks about, so in this thing, the root cause of the problem. Here's what it is. The most fundamental, I just had to rewind. The most fundamental belief is that I'm not good enough.
I'm not worthy.
And I'm not worthy. It's a lack of self-love, which is something that I've struggled with for so long. I would have never admitted it until I actually went, oh, you know, and self-love, not just masturbating, you know, like it's like
how do you talk to yourself?
I mean,
how do you treat yourself all day long? Are you really hard on yourself? Are you so mean to yourself? Like, I'm pretty mean to myself.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of us are.
Like, I would never talk to somebody else the way I talk to myself.
Right. Yeah. I noticed that about myself too. And when I started to realize that I kept telling myself all of these things, and you know, we get into these places where, well, all the time, we're going to focus, like, I don't know why it's so much easier to focus on the negative shit. There could be like 10 amazing things going on. 9 of them are great. We're going to focus on the one thing that sucks, and it'll spiral into knocking off those other ones, because that's all we're focusing on. And it's so interesting. It's like we argue for our limitations so much.
I love that phrase.
Do you know?
Argue for your limitations, and sure enough, they're yours.
Yeah.
Richard Bach from Illusions. Did you read that book?
I've read parts of that book, and I think that was something that struck me so deeply, probably just like you, where you're like, oh my God, I'm arguing for my limitations.
Yep.
In those moments, like, why would I be doing that? Or in a, you know, whatever it was, why would I do that against myself? So self-love, the most common one that she talks about in the book is related to money, that I'm not good enough to earn money in my life, which is what you were talking about earlier, or I don't have friends, or people don't love me, or I never get my way, like all of these things, right? And it comes from
Negative core
somewhere.
beliefs. But the money thing is, I think people have trouble with money because they've been told, oh, money is the root of all evil, or if you want money, you're greedy.
Money doesn't grow on trees. It kind of does.
But for me, I've changed my thought process around money, and I'm like, no, money is amazing. I love money. Money is great. It buys you freedom. It buys me the ability to make that sketch that we made together.
Yeah.
And had so much fun that day just creating my art.
Yes.
It enables me to not have to worry if I drive down the street and get a flat tire, that I know that I can replace the tire.
Yeah.
It gives you security.
Yeah.
You can buy
God,
Botox.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are all really good things money can buy.
Yeah. Plus you can take your friends out to
Money
dinner.
can buy happiness. Money can buy happiness.
Yeah. I don't know.
mean,
Whoever
it isn't,
said that money
it's
doesn't
an
buy
inside
happiness.
job, but like if totally can buy happiness, I am super happy. Sometimes I just go shopping just to make myself happy.
Yeah, sure.
So
it feels good.
Buys happiness for me.
Yeah, I don't see. We have a lot of negative
There's
self-talk around money.
And so that makes perfect sense. So we attach onto all of these sayings, right? Like all of these things, because that's what our parents said, because that's what their parents said. But we're all, as a generation, and the generations, that are my kid and stuff like that, who are so much smarter than we'll ever be in so many different ways. We learn all of this stuff, and then we take it with us, and we don't know where we got it from, but it's just because it's something that was said from just a lack of awareness, or a reason to look at something that you don't have and make yourself feel better about it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't have the money, so therefore money can't buy happiness, and those people aren't happy, so I'm going to put this judgment on that. And, money is the root of all evil. Like, look what happens to these rich buggers out there, or whatever it is. And you're like, and because, there are some, look, rich, poor, there's some shitty people, there's some great people. It doesn't really matter, but money is awesome.
Yeah. I
We
love money.
money.
I attract money. People love to give me money.
People love to give me money.
Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. That's another good one.
Money. Yeah. Money just flows into my world.
Yeah.
Money flows into my bank account. Money flies out of my beehole.
Money is just energy, right?
Right.
It's just an exchange of
It
energy.
is. Yes, it is. Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Money,
put positive energy out
money.
there, and then it comes back to you in the form of dollar bills.
Yeah. Dollar bills, y'all. It's true. And it is. It's shifting that and
Thought
letting
process.
it come in. Yes. This is another good thing. She was in the book. She goes, the question arises, like, where do the beliefs come from? Which I was just saying, where does it come from? Oh, look at all these sayings. And it says, so to answer these beliefs and various other things, like who we are, or on which rules, what rules should we live by from all of these old sayings, or the things that your parents said, or the things that your best friend said 4 years ago that really stuck with you, that makes no sense, and it doesn't, you don't really believe it anyway. It says all these things and thinking come under us when we're very young, and we get influenced by the people and the adults around us, and then we recreate our lives around those beliefs, which is exactly what we were just talking about. Which is with all these sayings and stuff, where it comes out and you're like, oh no, well, money doesn't grow on trees. Like, it's not easy to get. Money is not easy to get. And, whatever it is. And we believe it. And so she has an exercise in here, which, do you remember the I should, I could, like to go from the I should to I could.
Don't should on yourself.
Don't should on yourself.
Have you ever heard that
Yeah.
before? I love that one.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's a really good one.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about, I call them negative core beliefs. And like, I have one sometimes where it's like, I have shame, and that will come up sometimes, and I'll think, oh, I'm a bad person. Like, I'm just inherently bad. That comes from my Catholic upbringing, where you're told
Right.
as a child, you're born into sin. and you need to go to confession at age 7.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if that's programmed into you and you
Yeah.
think that you're a sinner,
It's so messed up, isn't it?
yeah.
Our parents fucked us up. Oh my God.
Well, I was just thinking how different my life would have been had I been raised with the law of attraction as opposed to Catholicism.
Oh my God.
And that's not to bash people who, because there are degrees of Catholicism that really work for people. And like on my mom's side of the family, they're all Catholic and they're very open and loving and non-judgmental. But then I met some Catholic people who are very judgmental and they think it's the only way.
It's like that with anything. But you know what? That's a really good point too, because also think about this. Just like with any Christian religion, right? Christianity in general, like there's all these different religions, all these different rules for all these different churches, which basically it's the same God. It's just different rules and different things you should or shouldn't do, whatever that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with any of it. I think, be a good person, be good to other people, all of that stuff. But there is something that really drives me crazy. What was my point? What I was going to say is there are judgmental people on both sides. So you said you have one side of your family super cool, the other, and then other people that like are really judgy. But it's the same thing in the spiritual world. And I have met law of attraction people that they're not practicing
they're not walking.
They are just like the same thing. Whether, what, I'm not even going to say law of attraction people. I'm going to say like yogi people, certain yoga people. I taught yoga for a while and I kind of stepped out of it because I was like, these fucking hypocrites. Like, oh my God, like what the hell is going on? Like everything is peace and love and light and granola. And then the next thing you know, and it's like, whoa. So, but there becomes a law. It becomes a, I guess the long-winded point is that anytime it becomes judgy, it becomes a religion. Yeah. And spirituality in a lot of ways has turned a lot of people off because it's also kind of become a religion. In a sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where these are the rules. And you're like, actually, what works for you? What makes you feel good? You don't have to do law of attraction, Bob. And you don't need to be a Catholic, Sheila. You can do whatever you want to do. Like, what makes you feel good?
Guess what my brother calls people who are super religious that are judgmental?
Assholes. What?
Hypocristians.
That's funny. I love that. That's really funny.
I love it too.
I really do like it. That's really funny. Yeah, that's good. Hypocristians.
Yeah.
No, it's true. And it's like, but there's always two different, I don't know. Everybody's working on their shit, right? Like you're either going to get it in this lifetime or you're going to get it when you're dead because you're going to be this amazing source of light. And it's going to be like, you just fall back into like the oneness that is all love and goodness, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my belief and I'm sticking to it. I think some people don't agree with that, but whatevs.
Consciousness, right?
You can go your own way, as Stevie Nicks said, Fleetwood Mac.
You can call it another lonely day.
You could, if you wanted to, or you could think positive and say, I might be lonely today, but you know what? I'm surrounded by friends.
Well, when I was in a psych ward, not to change the subject, but I put myself into a treatment center for depression a long time ago. And they taught me cognitive behavioral therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And they taught me how to reframe thoughts. So a thought is, I'm not where I'm supposed to be in my career. That was one of my big thoughts, right? Because all my friends were excelling and they were getting TV shows and they were getting all this stuff. And I was like, nowhere. And then, so she made me make a list of all the truths that support that fact. And they can only be facts that support that statement.
Yeah, like you have to prove it in a court of law.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to write the facts like, well, a lot of my friends have sold books or they're on TV shows. Okay, that's a fact, but that doesn't mean anything really.
Right.
And then you have to put all the facts that don't support that thought on the other column. And then you look at all the lies you've been telling yourself, right? And you look at it on paper and then you reframe the thought. Although I'm not where I want to be in my career, I'm working harder and harder and getting better and better every day.
Yeah. And
So
that's the truth.
And that's the affirmation.
Yeah.
And that's what you switch your thought into.
That's kind of goes back to what we were saying before. It's like you can't go from all the way to one place.
Right.
You have to like gradually get there. And I think people get thrown off of affirmations because they're like, and they make fun of it going, oh, money is in my life, you know, and they're like, you know, and it's like, but no, actually, what are you believing, you know? And but I like that. And it sounds a little bit, have you ever read the book, Byron Katie, Loving What Is?
Yes. And having to do the 4 questions.
Yeah. It's amazing. That sounds like a very cognitive therapy kind of thing where it's like, can you prove it in a court of law? Is it true? But is it true? And you know, when you're like, oh my God, he hates me. Is it true? Could you prove? And you're like, oh, then, and then what would you be without that thought?
Yes.
Which is so great.
So great.
There are so many great freaking tools. And I know that I have them. Isn't it funny? I do this all the time. I've done it for so long. I've read so many books and I've forgotten them all.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
know.
Like, it's crazy. I mean,
I have all self-help books on my shelf and I need to look at them again.
I mean, you think, but you already have, you know, you have all the answers to everything inside of you. But then it's funny because Lisa and I'm talking to people out there while I'm looking at you. So that was just weird. But, but Lisa and I have gotten into these really amazing conversations where we literally just remind each other what we already know. Because for just a moment, we might have forgotten what that is because we have gone into a different rabbit hole or whatever it is. But we've had conversations where we just remind each other of what we already know. And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And that's what's so great about surrounding yourself with people that are on
a spiritual path
right. Or just I say spiritual, but like, it's almost like spiritual has become like a bad word, like vegan or CrossFit. You know what I mean? Like, it's like
on a path of growth, wanting to grow and evolve and, you know, realize this is my goal. I want to realize my full potential in every area of my life.
Yeah.
Isn't that
that's a good one.
I want to become self-actualized.
Yeah.
Like I want to make the most money I can make. I want to be the best person I can be. I want to be generous. I want to be loving. I want to be kind. I want to be the best partner to my boyfriend, the best aunt, the best friend I can be, the best actress I can be, comedian.
Because everything else falls into place. And at the core of it all is happiness.
My meditation teacher taught me something that has stuck with me. And he says that nature's only function is to evolve itself and thrive and grow. And we are part of nature. So our true nature is to thrive.
Absolutely.
And grow.
It is.
And evolve.
Well, the growing part is the hard part, right? But once you can get into the place, here's what I've realized. And that's why I think I'm being able to come out of the thing that I've been in with all of this stuff that's just been crushing me like an elephant sitting on my chest. Like, I've just been like, oh my God, get me out of here. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. Can I like maybe enjoy this process? Because I'm about to I'm expanding and growing right now. Mm-hmm. It's super painful, but then we grow beyond the pain. And it's like, holy shit. Like, I just learned so much about myself. I learned so much about what I want. I know exactly what I don't want in certain situations, or I know exactly what I want. And when we can get to that place where we don't beat the shit out of ourselves when things go wrong, that we can go, oh, I'm actually just here. I'm here in this life to grow and expand and
thrive, though.
And thrive.
Be the best you
Absolutely.
Can be, get the most you can be, and abundance, right? The universe is abundant. It has more and more of everything.
It's all waiting for us.
So I think that nature, the universe, God, higher power, whatever you call it for yourself, wants us to be successful and rich and abundant.
Well,
and
we all, but I feel like, and here's another part of it, which is like hard, like especially with Catholic or Christian or religion in general. I think my thing with all of it is it's not that the universe wants, or that God wants it for, we are all part of it. It's just waiting for us to align with that very energy.
Yeah.
And it's not that, people say, oh, God's playing a cruel joke on you. Well, no, he's not. No, he's not. And we're like, oh, the universe is testing you. No, it's not. No, it's not. You are just out of alignment with the vibration that is love and everything like,
Right. So,
And it
yeah.
can't come out to get you because it's not going to leave love. God isn't going to come out to get you. So in terms of praying, I'm going to say a prayer for you. I still say like, this is what I want for someone or whatever. But I know that in times of desperation in the past of going, dear God, please let this happen, or please this and this, there's a pleading with something outside of me. And I'm asking for something from such a resistant place and putting it on someone else, putting it on a greater entity than myself, to ask for that to be delivered to me, as opposed to connecting with who I am at the core, which is all love, light, perfection, and believe it. Because that's when it comes in. And sometimes, yes, it's nice to talk to God and it's nice to talk to the universe or whatever it is. But I think when there's the pleading and the begging and the prayers.
No, I know that doesn't really.
Does it resonate with
feel
you?
Good.
Well, no, because it's like, dear God, please,
It makes me feel separate from, and like I don't have it. And then you're reinforcing that you don't have it when you're saying, can I get this thing?
And you're like, what? I'm just going to wait here for it to be delivered, instead of going, oh, God can't come outside of this place, outside of God, source, universe, can't come outside of that energy to get me, since I'm out of alignment over here. It can't leave. I have to go back into alignment in order to
and
get
that,
it.
For me,
that's a
is
prayer
nature.
to me. Yes, and that's nature, and
like
it's also
going
a prayer.
with the flow, right?
Right.
Getting in with the flow of nature, and just letting it unfold, as opposed to trying to manage and control things, because nature knows what it's doing.
Yeah. Yes. And we all, I like that. I like what he said about like us being nature. It's funny. I was walking. I just moved over by Runyon Canyon. I
love
used
it
to live
there.
over here by you, and now I live over by Runyon Canyon, and I love it. My best friend Shira lives across the street. My friend Greg lives there. My friend Sonia, who's taking your class soon. Shira probably will too. I have so many friends in this area. Like across the street from me is my friend Greg lives, and Shira lives, and it's like, it's amazing. But I was walking to Runyon, and it was so funny. I'd had this like really cool thing. And as I was walking, I thought, if anybody's visiting Los Angeles right now, and I'm right in the hub of like, Hollywood Boulevard, Franklin. And as I'm walking with Jack, there's this beautiful tree, and I'm on Franklin and La Brea, basically on the corner, walking towards my house. And I put my hand on this tree and I just closed my eyes. And I remember I closed my eyes. I was like, I just wanted to feel the energy of this tree. And I started laughing, thinking, if anybody is from out of town, they're like, oh my God, look at that freak. Oh my God, that is so LA. Oh my God. But it was
a true tree hugger.
Totally. And I started laughing because I was like, and I started laughing, but it was like this thing. And I looked up at the tree and I was just like, but it was really funny. And I had this moment where I just did it and then laughed at myself. But that nature thing, obviously, my God, when like things are like really shitty, sometimes even just going, if you like, I feel like things aren't working out for me, or that everything's against me. I'm like, you know what? The most precious resource in the world, water, is like delivered straight from the sky, and air is here and the sun is here. And we're living in this abundant place. You know what I mean? And it's so easy to focus on the conditions of our life in which we've created, and then focus on the lack of, or just the conditions of it, from the place of, just like earlier, I was telling you this whole story about what happened. And it's funny because I'll start talking faster and faster because I want to get through it, because I know it's not making me feel good whenever I'm telling the story, but I just want you to know what happened. But why do I need to let you know the details of what happened in situations? Because it also takes me into this place of repeating the story.
Sadness.
Or just repeating the story and keeping
it alive,
keeping it alive, and keeping keeping that momentum going. And it's funny, I shake myself out of it so much. I mean, I'm definitely more aware than I've ever been when I'm doing that. And then I go, okay, I'm doing that thing again where I'm focusing on the condition, whether it's no matter what it is. When Jack was in the hospital and he couldn't move, all I could do was focus on his cries and his screams and and that he couldn't walk and that I felt so alone. And, you know, the person I was with wasn't around, you know, and all of this stuff. And I felt, and all I could focus on was the condition of feeling so alone, abandoned, and scared. The minute that I started shifting that, instead of focusing on the condition of what is and focusing on what I wanted, which was, I want a solution for Jack. I want to feel supported. I want to feel this. Within a couple of days, he had to go in for an emergency surgery within like a day after that moment. And then after that, everything that happened after that, people coming in, you know, the acupuncture, the laser stuff, and all of this stuff. And before I knew it, I had this mass support of all of this help. And it was beautiful because I stopped focusing on the condition of that was in my face.
You focused on the solution rather than the problem.
Yeah, I focused on what I wanted. Just what do I want in this situation? What do I want to feel? And it was kind of amazing. And then look, Jack wasn't supposed to be walking. You see him. He's amazing.
Yes.
And he's amazing right now. And he's doing so good. He's jumping around. He's doing little walks on Runyon. So anyway, the point is it's like when we focus on the conditions of our life that we've created that are there because it's so hard not to,
then nothing's going to change.
Then nothing's going to change because we keep the momentum going with that story. And just like a positive or a negative thought, it will continue to roll in. Sounds so easy. It sounds like, oh, just do that. One of the most challenging things because I'm so, and you probably are too, geared towards thinking in a different way.
Which we focus on expands.
Yeah.
So if you focus on the solution, the solution gets bigger. If you focus on the problem gets bigger.
All of these sound so great. And it's so nice to like have people in your life that you can talk to, because I don't know about you, but I also I'll isolate myself fully. I mean, I was shooting that movie and all that stuff, but I really isolated myself because I didn't want anybody to know, which only means that I was fully in the condition. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, oh man, I just needed to be a victim for a while. I just needed to be like, you know, like all of this stuff. And then as I started to pull myself out of it, like whatever, but it's like, it's so important to remember this stuff. And guys and gals, everybody, all of you out there, like, look, there's not one person on the planet that isn't going through something. Not one. There's not one person on the planet. You never know what's happening with people.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like everybody out there has stuff that's going on. And I'm telling you, you're all so much smarter than you give yourself credit for. You're all so much more connected and so much more, so much smarter. You're so much more smarter than you give yourself credit for. Internally, I know I am, even though I continue to doubt myself. We all are. And it's like just dropping into that place of, I don't know, maybe it's trusting yourself, definitely loving yourself, and taking yourself out of those thoughts that just don't seem to work for you. And this book, we talked about a little.
So beautiful.
It's like forgive yourself and others, be focused on building new stuff. I would say, like, we talked a lot about like whatever, like the topic was very spiritual and very law of attraction. Like I said, Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. I would suggest looking up YouTube and just seeing it, and then grab the book. It's awesome. And there's so many other books, but this is it. This book is where every other book came from.
Now, okay, but let me just tell you that to take it one step further, Louise Hay had a mentor. And her mentor was Florence Scovel Shinn, who wrote The Game of Life and How to Play It.
Did not even know that. Just learned something new.
Florence Scovel Shinn.
Oh my God.
The Game of Life and How to Play It. It's a little tiny book.
Have you read it?
Yes. I'm obsessed with it.
I want to get it.
Yes.
Hey, everybody out there, let's all buy it tomorrow.
Yeah. It's a great book and it's easy to read, and you can read it in like a day.
Oh my God. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it.
And so, because I was listening to a podcast with Louise Hay, and someone asked her, who were your inspirations? And she mentioned this woman. And I was like, I've got to find this woman because this woman
that's
inspired
amazing.
her.
That's amazing. I will totally get that book. I love it. That's great. Yeah. Like we all hear these things, but isn't it great when we can, like Louise, for instance, she had a lot going on with her growth. Definitely she pulled herself out of some very dark things and became this person. She saw that, filled her up with this whole new thing that spoke to her, and she became, Louise Hay, Hay House Productions. If you guys know, like
she started in her 40s.
Publication, sorry.
In her 40s.
Wow.
That's when she started her career.
She's amazing. I mean, anyway, the whole thing is amazing. Check it out. Just like
I think, you know what though? I don't know if you can find the documentary You Can Heal Your Life on YouTube. I looked for it. Did you find
recently?
it?
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can find it right now. So
I had to go to hayhouse.com and order it for $20 and download it.
Oh, I've watched it a million times on YouTube, but that was a couple of years ago too, not recently, but let me just look. While I'm looking at this, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Oh, okay.
Tell them how to get involved with your class if you want them, whatever it is, the folks in LA, whatever that is.
First of all, let's just remind everybody that Krista and I are going to be performing together along with some amazing other comics on May 9th at the La Jolla Comedy Store. It's in the San Diego area. If you guys live down there, come and see us. You can get tickets online at their website, comedystore.com. And the show starts at 8. It's going to be so much fun. It's Pretty Funny Women. It's an all-female comedy show. My classes are for women only. Sorry, guys. And yeah, it's just prettyfunnywomen.com is my website. And then my Instagram is @prettyfunnywomen. And I'm trying to do more on Instagram. I'm trying to do a story every day.
You're doing really good.
Have
I noticed. You're adorable. I keep
upped it a
liking
little
them.
bit. Yeah, thank you.
You upped your game.
I did. So yeah. And I would love to meet any woman who is interested in just getting to know herself. I mean, 90% of the women who take my class don't want to be stand-up comics. They just want some confidence in their life, or they want the experience of it. That's a bucket list. They just want to try it.
You know what it is? And it's so great. You guys, I got to tell you, I've never taken the class, but you and I have written, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And just being on stage or being around women and just, whatever, even your shows, it's such a cool experience to be able to know that you're not alone. You know what I mean? Like it just, and you're doing it through comedy. So it's kind of like a support group.
Yeah, it is. It's a coven.
Yeah. It's
a comedy coven, comedy sorority. It's empowering.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all of those things. Literally, you guys, Lisa
and super fun.
is
And I serve cookies and coffee.
She's such a rock star. And by the way, I am looking at it right now. You Can Heal Your Life full movie on YouTube.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can watch it? I never knew this.
Yeah. It says You Can Heal Your Life full movie. And there's the audiobook part 1 is on here. People just upload it. Yeah. You can. Yeah.
I'm so happy.
You Can Heal Your Life.
Because I tried to find it when my brother came and stayed with me about a year ago, and we couldn't find it. So I had to order it online.
Oh God, no. Yeah. I know I've watched it. I'll click on it and just double check, but I know I've watched the full thing before.
Online?
Just on YouTube.
Great. You guys, please watch this movie. It is so powerful.
Yeah. And then if you're into it, pick up the book and highlight some stuff and see whatever, it's like you'll get inspired. It's super inspiring.
And if you have any chronic illness or disease or any problems you've been struggling with, you can diagnose yourself in this book.
Too.
If you have boils, you're angry. You're boiling over.
It seems like everything's about being angry.
Well, she does. She does say a lot of things are about being angry or fearful, right?
Fearful and angry, guilt, blame, shame, blame, guilt, fear, anger. All of it is everything that we suffer in human condition in general, because it's basically what we were taught somehow. And our number one goal in this world, in this life, in every life, is to be happy. That's what we're here for. We're here to be happy
and thrive.
But before we
abundant,
but also be able to see the contrast that our life that we're creating for our lives, and be able to clock it without beating the crap out of ourselves for that condition, which is what we all do. Right. Welcome to being human. Human condition fascinates me. So anyway, well, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for
And
having me. This was so much fun.
It was really good.
And thank you for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
She's fine. She's fine.
It's Dragon Wagon.